Hi everyone, welcome to Sweet Pea Sids Inspirations. My name is Sydney and today we are going to be working on the Tunisian Net Stitch, which is going to be a 2-row repeat. And when I say a 2-row repeat in Tunisian crochet or repeating rows in Tunisian crochet, I strictly mean the forward passes. I do not consider the return passes as a repeating row, just strictly the forward passes. Now in today's stitch we are going to be using the Tunisian Crochet Knit Stitch along with the Tunisian Crochet Knit Stitch Purl. Now I know that sounds a little interesting, and it is, but I'm going to be showing you how to do both the knit stitch and the knit stitch purl. So this stitch you will want to chain up a multiple of 2, and once you have your multiple of 2, we can go ahead and start working on our foundation rows, which is going to be where we work in our chain stitches by working in that back bump and drawing up a loop. So as always in Tunisian crochet, this first stitch on our hook always counts as 1. So what I like to do to kind of help from our chain from curling, I'll go and work in the back bump of our chain. So I'm just going to go ahead and insert my hook here and draw up a loop. Now you do not want to pull that loop through that stitch that's already on our hook. You just want to leave that be. So we're going to go ahead and continue repeating that until you have gotten all of your loops on your hook, and then we will do our return pass. Now to do our return pass, we are going to do a basic return pass. So we're going to go ahead and chain up 1. So we're just going to yarn over and pull through 1 loop only. And then now we're going to go ahead and yarn over and pull through 2. Go ahead and yarn over and pull through 2, and continue repeating that until you have made it to where there is only 1 loop left on your hook. Now we can start on the first row repeat. So we are going to be alternating between the Tunisian knit stitch along with the Tunisian knit stitch purled. So as always, the first loop on our hook is going to count as 1. So we are not going to work in these side stitches here. We're going to go straight to this stitch. Now to do a Tunisian knit stitch, you will see that there is 2 vertical bars. There's this front vertical bar, and then there's this back vertical bar. We're going to insert our hook into or in between both of those bars. So again, there is a front bar here, and then there is this back bar. So we're inserting our hook where my fingernail is poking through. And we're just going to go ahead and insert a hook there and draw up a loop. So that is a Tunisian knit stitch. Now the Tunisian knit stitch purl is similar to that, but what we're going to do is we are going to place our working strand of yarn, which is attached to your ball of yarn or skein or whatever you're using, and we're going to place that in front of our hook. And we're going to insert our hook the exact same way that we just did. So we're going to go in between those 2 bars. And then now we're going to kind of move our working yarn to the back. And we're going to grab that. And we're going to try to pull that through our loop. Now there is another loop where we have kind of a floater right here that you see. You want to make sure you do not catch that loop. So you're just going to go ahead and pull your loop through, and that is a Tunisian knit stitch purled. So again, we're going to do another knit stitch, just a regular knit stitch. And then after you have that knit stitch done, we are going to do a knit stitch purl. So again, place your working yarn in front of your hook. Go into your stitch like a regular knit stitch. And then we're going to move our working strand of yarn to the back. We're going to kind of catch that, and you see this loop right here. That's where we did the purl, the knit purl stitch. We do not want to grab that stitch, and we're just going to kind of pull our working strand of yarn through that loop. So what your stitch should look like is a regular knit stitch, but you're going to kind of have a floater in front of it. So we're just going to continue alternating between the Tunisian knit stitch and the Tunisian knit stitch purled. Go ahead and continue repeating that until you have made it to the end of your row. Again, a Tunisian knit stitch, and then the Tunisian knit stitch purl, which is the working strand of yarn in front of your hook, and then you'll catch it in the back. And once you have gotten to the end of your row, the very last stitch is going to be in that chain one of our return pass, and you're just going to go ahead and draw up a loop. And now we are going to do our return pass, so go ahead and chain one, which is yarn over and draw up a loop, pull through one, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through two until you have made it to where there is only one loop left on your hook. Now for our second row repeat, we're going to do pretty much the exact same thing, but we're going to switch the stitches around. So of course this first stitch always counts as this first loop on our hook always counts as the first stitch. So we will not be working in these side stitches here. We're going to go to the next stitch. So what we're going to do is we are going to start off with a Tunisian knit stitch purl. So go ahead and move your working strand of yarn in front of your hook. Go ahead and insert your hook like a regular knit stitch, and then just draw up a loop, making sure you do not catch that floating strand of yarn here. And then once you have that Tunisian knit stitch purled, we're going to do a Tunisian knit stitch, which again is just go in between those two bars and draw up a loop. And then do a Tunisian knit stitch purled, and then a Tunisian knit stitch. So go ahead and continue alternating between the two, and then I will meet you once I have made it to the end. And once you have made it to the end, we're going to go into that chain one space that we made for our return pass, making sure you go through both of those loops, draw up a loop, and then now we're going to do a chain one, so pull through one, and then we're going to go ahead and pull through two, pull through two, and pull through two, all the way until you have only one loop left on your hook. And those are the two row repeats for the Tunisian net stitch. I want to thank you for tuning in today and working this stitch with me. If you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to give this video a like, share, comment, or subscribe. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you for the next video.